Hey there, everybody. We have our second lesson in our Save the Island science unit. And today, I'm looking at these pictures.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to talk about a volcano.
Yeah. Or some weird giant mountain
that smokes.
that smokes.
Like smoke comes out of it.
Yeah, what is all that smoke coming out of it?
I have a few questions about what I'm seeing here.
Okay.
I see just like a regular looking mountain, possibly volcano, that doesn't look like anything's happened to it.
Yeah.
I see the top of a mountain or volcano that's producing ash, smoke. I see a ton of smoke and ash.
Ooh.
And then here it kind of looks like the aftermath of a volcano that has erupted.
It does.
So I'm wondering, is this all the same volcano? Are these all the same place?
Well, I like how you're asking questions. That's a lot like what we did yesterday when we looked at all those landforms. Well, what other questions do you have about these pictures?
Okay, well, I see a bunch of trees in this one, and then over here, there's no trees, so maybe it's not the same place, or maybe it is, but the eruption just kind of annihilated all the trees. I'm not really sure, but I really want to find out.
All right, well, I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I'm going to let you know that yes, these are all the same place.
Okay.
The pictures all represent the same place.
Okay.
But I'm not quite ready to give you the answers to all of your other questions yet.
Okay.
And I bet some of our friends at home also have some questions, but we're going to be watching a video in a couple minutes that will give us some more information.
Okay.
All right?
I think before we watch the video, we have some questions in your guys' workbook on lesson 2, pages
7 and 8.
7 and 8. On page 7, they give us some questions. We're going to watch a video about Mount St. Helens. That's the volcano. And we need to answer these 2 questions after watching it. So we want to have these questions in our minds while we're watching so we can listen to the answers, listen for the answers. So what's the first question?
All right, the first question is asking, how did the eruption of Mount St. Helens change the land?
Okay. And then finally, we're going to be asking ourselves, how quickly or slowly did these changes happen? All right. How did the changes happen, and how quickly or slowly did they happen?
All right, let's listen and find out.
Take a good look at this mountain. Does it look dangerous? Powerful? Explosive? It might look peaceful now, but in 1980, Mount St. Helens in Washington State reminded people of its true nature. Mount St. Helens is a volcano, and when it erupted, it devastated the surrounding area, flattening buildings, scorching woodland, and killing 57 people. In the days leading up to the eruption, there were warnings that something big was about to happen. Molten rock and gas were building up inside Mount St. Helens, creating a lot of pressure and causing the ground to shake, causing earthquakes. The earthquakes were a sign that the volcano was about to blow, which gave most people time to leave the area. The pressure got so high, the side of the mountain started to bulge outwards, like an overinflated balloon that's about to pop. Then, just after 8:30 in the morning, on Sunday, May 18th, another large earthquake struck. The entire side of the mountain came crashing down. It was the biggest landslide in recorded history. Suddenly, all the pressure inside Mount St. Helens was released in a massive sideways explosion. A huge cloud of hot gas, ash, and rock raced down the mountain, destroying everything in its path. The heat from the explosion instantly melted ice and snow on the mountain, and rocks, trees, and other wreckage fell into rivers, causing them to overflow and flood the surrounding land. In just a few minutes, the entire landscape was transformed. When the dust and ash settled, the top of the mountain was gone, leaving a massive crater. The 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens shows just how powerful our planet can be and how quickly the world around us can change.
Wow. That was a powerful video.
Wow.
I learned a lot.
So did I.
I didn't know a lot of that stuff, in fact.
I didn't either. This was my first time watching that entire video fully through, and it also seemed kind of sad.
Yeah.
It said that people even died because of that.
Mm-hmm.
That is quite a disaster that happened in that location. And it's also something really important that we can learn about, and we can find out why did that happen and how did the land change.
Before we get into how did the eruption change the land, I just feel like I need to process through a little bit of what happened.
Yeah.
It said, which I thought was pretty interesting, that they had like a lot of warning signs before it erupted that told them that it was going to erupt soon. Do you remember any of those warning signs?
Yeah, I remember them saying that they could tell at the top of the volcano, they could tell that they started to see smoke already because the magma inside was already getting hot.
Really hot and bubbly.
Yeah, and then after that, they were experiencing a lot of earthquakes. And they were like, I live near this volcano, and we're experiencing a bunch of earthquakes, and they were getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
So it was kind of letting us know.
Yeah, I'm sure that saved a lot of lives.
I think so.
Like they said, people were able to leave ahead of time because of all of those little earthquakes that were kind of a precursor to it. Wow. And then just like jumping just quickly down to how quickly or slowly did these change, it's still burned into my mind and my ears that they said this happened in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Like the entire landscape changed in minutes. And I know that throughout this unit, we're going to learn about a lot of different ways erosion happens. And sometimes that erosion can take hundreds of years. But a volcano is an example of a way to change land in minutes. It's an explosive, sometimes can be seen as devastating, but I know we will learn a little bit about how, things can grow more and better after the ash settles on the land. And, eventually things will keep growing. But those initial damages and changes of the land were just quick and huge.
Yeah. Thank goodness that so many people were able to get away and there were the warning signs.
Yeah.
I know that if I live near a volcano and people were saying it might erupt, we're seeing a lot of warning signs, I think I would gather my family and most precious belongings and I would get out of there as soon as possible.
Definitely.
So definitely interesting to learn about.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at these questions.
Okay.
The first question says, how did the eruption of Mount St. Helens change the land? Well, there's so many things we could list. We're definitely not going to be able to list them all. But, I mean, one of the things they said is like the entire side of the mountain exploded. It was like the largest landslide that they'd ever experienced. Trees, rock, all of it just kind of fell down. And there was a river right at the bottom of that mountain. And all of the stuff that exploded and slid down Mount St. Helens, down the side of the mountain, ended up in that river, which caused the river to flood. And the town flooded as well.
Everywhere flooded, basically. So, here's the thing. We want at least one sentence.
Yeah.
But you can write as many. I could probably fill this with all the different things that happened. We can write trees, trees filled rivers and it flooded the land. Yeah. I also remember it talking about the hot gases that were just pouring over the side of the volcano.
And the ash that covered the land. Right?
The ash was all over. Imagine breathing all of that in with the smoke. It said all the snow that was on the side of the mountain,
melted
gone.
Immediately. Yeah.
So we could write a number of things, and if you want to go back and watch this video again, you're more than welcome to if you want to add a couple more details to it. Lots of things happened when that volcano erupted.
And then secondly, and we kind of already answered this, it says how quickly or slowly did these changes happen? They told us that it happened very quickly. A lot of those big changes happened in a matter of minutes. So, yeah, not something that takes years and years and years and years to see the change, like the growing of a mountain or the deepening of a canyon. This happened very quickly. All right. We're going to take a look over here now at our reflect page, and this is something that we can answer now that we have learned a little bit about what happened with Mount St. Helens. It says, do you agree or disagree with this claim? Landscapes don't change. Landforms like mountains, rivers, and volcanoes have always been that way. We just watched a video of a volcano exploding and changing the whole land, changing the mountain, changing the river, changing all of it.
Yeah.
So would you agree or disagree with that?
No, I definitely disagree with this claim. I would say landscapes do change, and we just saw an excellent example of that. And even throughout this video and yesterday, we've been talking about some of the changes that you and I have even seen.
Yeah.
You talked about going to, tell me the name of that place again.
Natural Bridges.
Natural Bridges, but also...
The Grand Canyon?
No, that was mine.
Arches National.
Arches National Park, thank you. I forgot the name of it. But yeah, I've seen the Grand Canyon, and I also mentioned that I've seen things like a flood in my own town where I grew up.
Yeah.
And so we've seen those changes in our own lives, and we just got to watch that video. So I'm going to give you a sentence starter here, and then you can give me a reason why. I'm going to write, I disagree because...
And you can use an example from the video we watched. Maybe you disagree because you saw what happened when Mount St. Helens erupted and how that changed the land, or you can use one of mine or Ms. Marquardt's experiences or one of your own. As long as you give us a reason why you disagree and you know that landscapes do change. Yeah, and that's it for today's science lesson. We'll see you back here tomorrow.